Will is the key. Willpower. I know a little bit about what I'm talking about. I don't know much as you do, I'm sure. I'm sure everybody in here is more learned than I, much more of a scholar than I. But I know about coming back from seemingly unsurmountable odds. I know about coming back from when doctors tell you that you can't or that you shouldn't. Oh, you're too old. You shouldn't be. You should sit down somewhere and take it easy. Yeah, I got my AARP card in my wallet right now. In the same group. So you should sit down, sir, because of your diagnosis, and don't do a damn thing. Bullshit. Hell no. Every time I go to the doctor, they tell me what I shouldn't be doing and what I should be doing and what I won't do and what I can't do. And I politely go out the door and do whatever the fuck I want to do. And I'm gonna do that until they throw dirt on top of me. This is my life. And I choose to live it the way I want to live it. I won't let you decide how I live this life. I don't care how long or short it is. It's mine, motherfucker. And I'm gonna use it how I see fit. So your stories motivate me. They say, oh, after 35 years of lifting weights and open heart surgery and dying 3 times on the operating table, CT, what motivates you? Your story motivates me. Your story motivates me. The stories of extreme will. People that came through something or circumstances that they were not supposed to go through. You just ain't supposed to be able to do it. But he did it any goddamn way. It is impossible until some crazy son of a bitch has the audacity to believe that no matter what the expert or the doctor says, I can still do that shit. And if you don't believe it, just sit your ass down over there and watch me do it. How do you teach people to not look at something and say immediately, because the appearance, I can't do it, I give up, before they even attempt it? Oh, that's overtraining. Simply because it sounds like more than I ever done before. I can't do that. I won't even try. I won't even try. I give up before I even try. No. Oh, I tried, but I fell short. I tried my best, but I fell short. Is there victory in that? Goddamn right it is. Anytime that you give your best effort, that you give everything that you possibly can give, there is satisfaction in knowing that I did my absolute best. I did all I could do. there's victory in that. There's satisfaction in that. Effort is so important. It is so important. The effort that you give. My last competition, I was unsuccessful in my attempt, but I consider it my greatest competition. Why, CT? You didn't get it. Because the day before that competition, my doctor looked me in the face and he said, if you go out there and you try to bench press 705 pounds, it's gonna kill you. Your valve is too weak, it'll be too much of a strain, it will explode right there on the stage and you're gonna die in front of all them people. That's my doctor told me that. I have trained my whole life for this. I've devoted my life to this. This is the reason for my existence. This is why I am here. And you asking me if I am going to compete? Of course I'll compete. And if I do happen to die on that stage tomorrow, then you know what? So fucking be it. So be it. I'ma do that fucking shit anyway. I'm gonna do it anyway. I'm gonna go out the king, the ruler, the beast that I was born to. So do what you may.
So I realized when you turn the camera the other way around, a light shines. So no more bad videos and bad lighting. Only took owning an iPhone for 6 years to realize that. So I decided to do another chapter. What spawned this? A lot. You gonna be good? Go to sleep. My two last videos were called The Final Word. And I just wanted to tie some loose ends off. And I was done. I was completely content. My training was on par. My life was on track. Everything was exactly where I wanted it to be. Took a lot of time and effort and planning to get to that point. And I thought I was bulletproof. I mean, fucking bulletproof. Then things started to happen. Out of my control, things that we all depend on. You know, whether it's friends we depend on, whether it's our job we depend on. I thought I was in a pretty good, rock solid position. You know, I had a job that I loved. I had all the time and money to put into my passion. Sorted out all my personal bullshit. And I had a 4-year plan to put everything I had into bodybuilding. I mean, fucking everything. And if I couldn't make a go of that some way to provide myself some passive income, I was going to start looking into a regular career, right? Regular full-time job. You know, I really didn't have any desires to do continue the story. I didn't really have a strong desire to do bodybuilding videos. You know, as I mentioned, I would probably record my milestones, you know, because that's something I'm really into. But generally, I really thought there was nowhere for the story to go. I was so happy to be in the position that I was in. So happy. Then holes in my plan started to emerge. Things I never considered. My hours in my job started being fucked with. There were things in my personal life that I needed a vehicle to address. Even though I pay for a vehicle with my landlord, I have it limitedly. It's not just snapping my fingers whenever I want. It's whenever it's available. That became a problem. There were certain aspects of my bodybuilding supplementation that was a source I was relying on. That became a problem. Needless to say, what I thought was what I thought was bulletproof turned out not to be. There was no part of my life that was not in control. My mental illness was in a great place. Everything, you know, my personal life, you know, everything. So what started to cascade. I want to be really fucking clear here. Really fucking clear. Based on the realization of these holes in my plans, I need to reassess everything and come up with a brand new fucking plan. A brand new plan, like everything. And that caused a serious amount of manic stress. I can't even tell you, because in my eyes, I had to replan everything. I had to reassess everything. And unfortunately, that involves cocaine use. Not an abusive form. Make that perfectly fucking clear. Using it in a way that I've described in a multitude of my essays that I've recently posted. Honestly, I couldn't have got through and reassessed the last few months without the drug cocaine. And that's the absolute truth. You know, after most of it was assessed, you know, it spawned a lot of those essays that I posted on Facebook. One of them was recently flagged. Maybe we'll get into that topic or not, but I don't know. Needless to say, my last essay was very controversial in my ideas. However, it was the truth, you know. Bipolar is a motherfucker. Never forget the ADHD. That's whatever, all that fucking shit. It's a motherfucker to deal with. It's fine when things are fine, you know. But when you have a massive trigger like something like that that affects your life, your well-being, your security, you have to reassess everything and replan everything all over again. You know, without that drug, who knows what would have happened to my state. Do I dare say psychosis? You know, the ability to think about all the variables in a manic state, it's just too overwhelming. And I'm not going to get into the aspect how cocaine helps me disseminate everything and put everything together. If you were really interested in that, you can read all about it. There's an essay describing all of that. You know, my hours at work got affected. You know, I thought what I had going there was bulletproof. It certainly seemed like it. You know, but unfortunately, like all companies, they get bright ideas and cross-training. We're going to try this and we're going to try that. You know, well, we don't really know what we're doing, but, you know, just bear with us and fuck, you know. You know, I'm thinking, oh man, a small company, you know, and here comes the corporate stuff, right? Heard it all before. Except this is on a much smaller, manageable scale to ingest. So yeah, so it spawned a lot. You know. The bright side of this ordeal, a full-time job came up. One that I passed on in the past because I simply wasn't ready for it. And you know, I was really fucking happy with the way things were going in my life at that time. There was no point for me to put myself in a position where I'm gonna be busting my fucking ass off when I don't have to. Like, I can live fine without all the extra luxuries in life. You know, as long as I have what I need, I'm pretty fucking happy. You know, but unfortunately, to want more, to push harder, to push yourself, comes with a lot of manic stress. And for me, there's only one way to manage that safely. Family, friends, people you're intimately involved with have a really hard fucking time understanding that. And it's really tiresome, you know, especially at this stage, to constantly defend that. Very tiresome. You know, if a doctor prescribed me cocaine, would that make it socially acceptable? You know, fucking makes me fucking sick to my stomach. When I got out of the hospital after my accident, I remember filling my first bipolar medication. For a month's supply, it was $369. That's right, $369. Oh, I didn't go into manic stress. But I wasn't even capable of understanding how to do my own groceries, how to get phone for my internet, curtains on the windows, bed sheets, lawyer for court for the accident. I couldn't fucking function. You know, and now being thrown and now being thrusted and forced into, I've always wanted more for myself, but I wanted to take my time with it. I didn't want to be forced. I didn't want to be rushed. But outside pressures sometimes force us to do things quicker than we want to do them. You know, and it's going to be a rough ride for me. The hard stuff is done now. You know, all the planning and reevaluating. It's been a lot. But with a new career, more money, comes a whole new set of other pressures, right? Hey, I'm glad to be working full time. I'm glad to be making all this extra money. I'm glad to be off of fucking disability finally, you know? But with all this money comes new pressures. Now, what do I do with all this money, right? Do I buy a car? What do I get for transportation? What do I prioritize after this? There's a lot of shit to do when your options, when the options are there. And that's a massive trigger for manic states of mind. You know, I'm so paranoid about doing the wrong things in the wrong order. That's why I've been taking my time. You know, with everything. Tackling each issue on its own, you know. Okay, I have a good job. Do I really like that job? Is that job sustainable? Check. Bodybuilding, what's involved? How much money is going to involve? How much time is going to be involved? What kind of discipline do I need? Check. Relationships, personal relationships. Do I really need one? If I have one, what is required of that? Lots to think about. And for someone who is bipolar, someone who has ADHD, that's a huge fucking problem. Not to mention a new job. But, however, I wouldn't have applied or taken the job if I didn't think I could handle it. It's just what the hard part is the change. Like, I was settled in a really good spot. You know, everything seemed to be bulletproof. Excuse me. Now, there's so many options now. There's so many things that I can do or will do. It's a lot to, the brain just doesn't shut off. And the manic perception of the things that are best for me are very different from the non-manic perception of me. And unfortunately, I can only get that non-manic perception through the use of cocaine and the bridge and blah, 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 everything I talked about. So it kind of all just spawned another chapter, one I really didn't plan on doing. I didn't even plan on doing this video, but I thought about it and thought about it, especially after that last essay I wrote, you know, because that was very, I think, controversial, and I think it's important for people to know that, okay, bud, you just made some pretty bold statements. Put your money where your mouth is type thing, right? Put your money where your mouth is. And that's exactly what the fuck I'm gonna do. That's exactly what I'm gonna do. I'm excited though. I'm extremely excited. As much as I hated being forced into this position, I am excited about it. Because I'm never gonna have to worry about, well, we should never use worry, right? Never, I mean, we should never use the word never, because look what happened 3 months ago, right? Well, basically what I'm saying is I should never have to worry about the money issue or how if I'm going through something and there's something I really need to work out, and I spend $200-300 on cocaine 1 month, it's not going to affect me as negatively as it otherwise would have, right? You know, if it was cheap, you know, I'd never have a problem as far as that drug goes. I'd never have a problem. Even in my worst of times, you know? You know, like being bipolar is such a benefit. It can be such a gift when it comes to putting the gas on an idea or putting the gas on something you want to do or something you have a passion for. Being bipolar is fucking fantastic for that. It gives you the focus and drive to do what you need to do. And that's a great thing about it, you know? It's like being given a very dangerous gift. That's the best way I can describe it. You know, in control, when it's controlled, it's fucking great. When you don't have control over bipolar disorder or your manic states, it can be very damaging. You know? Like most of my life is lived in a hypomanic state. You know, it's elevated, but not to any dangerous levels. You know, and most of the time, even if it's a dangerous level, I can control my actions, right? I can control my actions. However, it's the prioritizing, it's the perception shifts of what is realistic, what's not realistic. It's a fine balancing act when there's a lot to assess. And I'll be totally honest, probably for the next, well, until I have until I'm settled into the job, then, you know, I can introduce the gym, back into the gym, then start reintroducing my personal life. Cocaine will probably play a significant role for that period of time until I find a nice, reasonable, what I think is a reasonable when I think it's bulletproof, when I think all the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed, and there's a nice long-term plan. You know, in the video, the last video I did, I talked about how I had to make some pretty tough decisions, you know, and one of them being relationships. Carrying a full-time job is very, very demanding, you know. Between full-time job and bodybuilding, there is no attention to put towards a relationship to make that work. You know, that was a tough decision, especially because my life, up until recently, was structured to make room for somebody, right? And now that my life has to pivot, I had to the fuck is that? Oh, that's Sam. Shit. Fuck, give me a second. Fuck. Sam, you never climb the window like that. Jesus Christ. Oh. You have a friggin' heart attack. Come on. Oh. Only Scarface climbs doors and windows. I don't even know where the fuck, where was I? Yeah, so my life was structured to make room for someone, and my life had to pivot. And in order to not feel that need to have someone in my life, I had to find my 99%, right? And that's something I've talked about in the past. You know, if I didn't have bipolar disorder, the rebuilding process would be so much easier. It'd be so much easier. And also another reason for the next chapter 2 is even though before 3 months ago, everything was great, you know, I was always wrestling with the priority when it comes to bodybuilding. You know, I was always asking myself, okay, well, sure, I have the time to work out and have a good job, everything's great, but I was questioning the amount of money I was spending. Like, I had spent $700 a month on bodybuilding. So I was questioning, I was being honest with myself, is it worth spending $700 a month on, based on my income a few months ago? Could I afford it? Yeah. But is it justified, right? Is it justified? You know, am I being realistic about what my goals are? I was having doubts, okay? But I figured I'll work through it and I'll figure out what the best case scenario is. Well, now with working full time, I have absolutely no problem spending $700 a month on what I love to do, which is bodybuilding. Whether anything amounts from it or not, it's not even an issue anymore. I just get to fucking work out the way I want, train the way I want, take what I want. It sounds very, very rewarding to me. You know? And still have the money to do other things, like buy a vehicle, invest in RSPs, get a shitload of dental work done. But the thing is, though, without the addition of cocaine in my life, I couldn't plan this adjustment. I couldn't make this pivot. It would have been just too much of a trigger. Too much of a trigger. You know? And I have no problem communicating that. None. None. What's it going to take? What's it going to take to change the narrative, to break the stereotypes? Maybe that's my responsibility to do so, you know? Hey guys, is that Dia's responsibility to change the narrative on that? Now this isn't me recommending cocaine for as a medication for bipolar or ADHD. I just think it's important for me to document that, you know? Maybe it is my responsibility. Maybe that's why things happen the way they happened, and life said, no, your story's not done. You need to keep going. You know? Who knows? I don't fucking know. You guys. Oh. Oh boy, is there anything else I want to say? Yeah, that Facebook post that that essay that was flagged. I wonder why that was flagged. Was it flagged because someone didn't like what I said? Was it flagged because of the picture I posted? Did someone flag that, or was it flagged specifically by Facebook with their community standards? Was it just something on their end? I don't know. I don't know. But I'm very appreciative that they reconsidered and kept it up. I spent a lot of time thinking about that essay and writing about that essay. You know, it would have been a shame if that was taken down. It would have been a real shame. You know, that it started off with just a couple of sentences, just like most of my essays do. So, an interesting year ahead of me. Lots of unknowns. Lots of unknowns. I don't like unknowns. They're unhealthy for me. Very unhealthy. Very unhealthy. But there's lots to plan. You know, there's lots to plan. There's lots to figure out. There's lots to prioritize. And that's going to be tricky, you know. I'm paranoid, you know. I'm very paranoid about making the wrong decision now, you know. No time left. There's just no time for mistakes. Fucking water. Pipes are frozen. Thank God a girlfriend of mine. She can help me with the laundry. Fucking sweetheart. Yeah. No water till spring. wild, eh? Pipes running from the main house to my cabin, from my cabin, excuse me, to the workshop. 2 sets of pipes. They're only down into the ground about 1.5 feet from what I'm told. So, yeah, they fucked up and I fucked up. Well, I didn't know that the pipes could freeze. I originally thought it was my exposed pipes in the washroom that were the issue when it first froze up. So I cranked up the fucking heat in here and the water started running again. And so I thought it was me. But one of the guys turned the tap off in the shop. They froze. It was like a cascade effect, you know. I soon won't forget this experience for next year. That's for sure. That's for sure. You know, it's tough. You know, this ain't a pity party. This is just a reality of my situation. There isn't someone waking up beside me in the morning that can help me with this decision-making process, right? There's no one I can trust to do that. I know what's best for me. I've had bipolar disorder for a long time, and I've had to deal with it in the most direct way in the last 10 years. And it's conversations that are very hard to have with somebody because they simply do not understand. I don't understand, Scott. Why do you do the things you do? I do the things I do so I can have a future tomorrow. I don't understand. Exactly. So let's not have this conversation. You know? Let's not have this conversation. I don't need to hear what you think I'm doing wrong or what you think is not in agreement with your thought process, you know? When you're in my shoes, yeah, sure. Yeah, I'll be happy to hear what you have to say. I'll be happy to... Whatever. Because it's impossible for an addict or ex-addict to be using. Oh, that's impossible. That's impossible. How can that benefit you? Makes me so angry. Makes me so angry. Well, boys, call it a night. You guys are all asleep down, ready to go. Hopefully I've covered what I want to. I did a video, just posted a video the other day. And by accident, I erased it. Because when I posted it, I didn't initially have the idea of doing another chapter. And I thought about it some more, and I was going to do this, then follow up with that video. And yeah, but I erased it. Well, you know what I say about when I erase things, it's meant to be, right? So hopefully this video came across with enough information that I initially intended. Oh, is there anything else I wanted to say? I think that's it. So until you see you guys again, take care of yourselves, take care of each other. God bless you all.
I know you think there's something wrong with me. You gotta listen to my words.